Give her that away so I can introduce us. And I also need to do an audio test before we start playing. Sure.
For green screen.
Can you put the camera down? What? My hair. Oh, this is a green screen. It's light reflection. Okay. I'm gonna turn this down a bit. So that way we can do an audio test. It's not loading. Happened like this before. We're gonna have a stupid commercial first.
Oh, it has commercials?
Yeah, but when you first log into a channel, it'll play a commercial, and then it goes away and you don't get any more commercials.
I think JP should do a commercial. He should just come in and be like, Ashley's broadcast brought to you by Depends. Comfort when it's needed.
That's not even their slogan. I mean, what? I don't know their slogan. Oh no, my laptop died. This is very sad.
You can put a cowboy hat on, you can be the catheter cowboy. I like it rugged, but there's one thing I hate. It's cath.
Oh, that's from,
yeah. John Oliver.
Yeah.
The catheter cowboy.
I think my laptop needs rebooting. Can you do an audio check on your end? My favorite is, there was a skit in, yeah, my Surface is super dead. There's a skit in 30 Rock where one of the characters becomes a spokeswoman for vaginal mesh. The slogan is, "Nice try, prolapse." Okay, the audio works good. Can you hear the game audio though?
Yeah. Do you want to hear it again?
Oh, perfect, yeah. Yeah, my Surface just totally died, and it won't even hard reboot. I'm gonna have to hold it down for a while. That's there for a reason.
No, it isn't.
That dog hair is structurally...
This is not important.
That's sound structural engineering. Okay.
The dog's
Right.
teeth are not anatomically correct.
You should write Ubisoft a letter. I know you're busy at E3, but...
I'm not quite sure you've quite grasped the toothed edition of Canaan's.
Alright, cool. So, if we've done our audio check, we can get started. So, welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm here with Robert Delph, who is a wildlife biologist. Actually, I'm going to introduce you how I said I was going to introduce you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is the last man that I've known that actually orders physical DVDs from Netflix and just doesn't stream movies. Like, he orders them in the mail, they come to his house, and then he watches them and sends them back through snail mail.
Well, it's a lot better than Redbox.
How would you like to introduce yourself is probably a better question. What do you do?
I'm a wildlife biologist. I work with the Center for Environmental Management and Military Lands through Colorado State, and I work full time at Dugway Proving Ground as a wildlife biologist there.
I don't know. I'm streaming someone else's stream. So, why are you here today? What are we gonna do?
I am here because I was told I can get free beer and pizza.
Yeah, that's all you need now, really.
Yeah.
But you brought along some animal friends, right?
I did.
So this is slightly different, so I'll introduce the stream before we get started, because I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm so excited. So this is going to be a little bit different than my Think Aloud streams that I typically do. So instead of playing a game and talking about what the design intent was, instead this is going to be a science stream where we have a scientist with us. Rob specializes in invertebrates, and he's brought some.
Yes. So
to play with us.
Yeah, I'm an entomologist. Even though I do a lot of work with other animals, snakes, lizards, and bats, my specialty is insects and spiders and other invertebrates. And I brought a couple of live examples here that we can show you.
So we're also going to be playing Far Cry 5. And the reason why I picked this game with Rob is because it's kind of like out in the wilds, and you can just spend hours hunting and fishing in this game because it's set in Montana. So Colorado, Utah, Montana, they're similar flora and fauna, not the same obviously, but similar. So I thought it might be kind of fun to see what Rob has to say about the critters in this game. But before we get started playing the game, which I'll play the game and we'll do science facts and stuff. But before we get started with that, let's bring out a special guest.
All right.
Let's kick it off with...
Did you want this guy, or did you want to do this guy?
We can start with the Black Widow.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Which means I'm going to move.
So this is a Black Widow, Lactodectus hesperus. This is one of the most venomous spiders in North America.
So cool.
So this is an adult female right here. So you can get it in a view there. You can't really see the red hourglass under the abdomen because it's tucked up here at the top of the lid here. But they have a neurotoxic venom. And Black Widows are not, they're not aggressive spiders. They're really dangerous because mostly the prey that they eat are very large insects. So they'll take down very large cockroaches, grasshoppers. And so they need to have a venom that's capable of paralyzing a very large insect prey. So their venom is not really used for envenomating people or larger animals. It's mostly for paralyzing other insects. Most people who are bitten by Black Widows, it's because they either stepped on one or they're goofy entomologists like me who do this with them, which is, don't try that at home, guys.
I was bit by a Black Widow.
Yeah.
But I was asleep and I probably rolled over on her.
Yeah, and
self-defense.
It was probably just crawling across you and you rolled over it. But statistically, most people who are bitten by Black Widows, it's in porta potties. So, a Black Widow will often make its webbing right across the toilet seat of a porta potty. And that's to capture flies and other insects that are feeding on the decomposition that's going on in the toilet. And so people who are bitten, it's usually human males, are bit in the genitals by the Black Widow because the genitals are hanging down into the web, and then the Black Widow bites them there. So,
ouch.
Yeah, so guys, if you need to use a porta potty, make sure you grab a long stick, and shake around the toilet seat to knock any webbing or anything that might be down there. So, but again, these are not aggressive spiders, but they are dangerous. And if you see one in your storage shed or underneath your lawnmower, go ahead and squash it. I would not feel bad because there are plenty of these guys. These are one of the most common spiders in North America.
So the question was just asked if I have another camera to get a better view of the spider, and unfortunately I don't because I'm streaming through a PlayStation 4. But I quite enjoy the fact that we're doing this stream entirely through a PlayStation 4. So I think we could put the camera back real quick. So sorry for the jitters. We'll periodically move the camera so that you can see the critters on stream. For now, I'm gonna try and venture out into the wilds to try and find a critter in game that we can talk about.
Well, let's find a Black Widow.
Wouldn't that be incredible if there was a Black Widow?
Well, in tall grass like this, you often find Black Widows. So Black Widows are generalist predators. And so areas where you have a monoculture of one species of vegetation, you typically don't have a lot of variety of other insects. And so Black Widows are great at being opportunistic predators. And so they'll eat pretty much what's ever around. And so in grassy fields, that's an excellent place for Black Widows.
I saw one. Just shot it. It's coming right for me. I'm teasing.
I can't tell if those flies buzzing around are actually flies or bees. They just look like black dots.
Yeah, it's because they are.
They're not anatomically correct.
No, they're very much dots, but that's okay.
But the flower that looks like yarrow.
Queen Anne's lace.
Yeah.
Is that what it's also called? Dog biscuits. In Sweden, they call them dog biscuits because dogs like to eat them. Here, in Michigan, they call them Queen Anne's lace. So how do you prevent, let's say you're in Montana and you're running away from a fundamentalist group. How would you not get bit by a black widow if you're traipsing through the grass?
Well,
Like we just
probably don't want to be wearing shorts or sandals. So
Or
definitely,
how are my characters wearing?
definitely full leg pants, and I recommend boots. Boots. Wearing different boots.
They look impressive.
They look impressive, but they're not. But you definitely want to have a type of boot that probably goes all the way up the ankle. Black widows, their fangs are actually very, very small, and so they're very unlikely to bite you through clothing. So
Yeah, I got bit on the neck, like
Yeah.
skin. And sadly, no spider powers, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah.
Well, it's because if you got bit by one next to Dugway, maybe you could have spider powers.
So what other... Oh, this looks like a fun weed.
That looks like
I can
a
take it.
mustard.
Prickly lettuce, it says. Do you think it's a mustard plant?
Looks like a mustard.
But it's edible.
Ah, I think so. It looked edible.
Well, apparently I'm going to eat it.
Well, let's see
Oh,
what
cool,
happens.
there's my ATV. Okay, this will go a lot faster once I get
In grassy fields like this too, I'd probably want to wear pantyhose or something to prevent ticks and
No,
chiggers.
really?
Yeah.
I should probably have chopped the wheels off that truck. Look, it's Digby.
Is that that's a hunter with his dog.
What the crap? Was that a mountain lion? What the crap was that? What's going on?
That's his dog.
No, there's a...
Oh,
that?
oh, that guy.
Oh, no!
Oh, crap.
I don't want to shoot the dog! No, don't make me shoot the dog! Oh, that lady died. Oh, no. Okay, this is probably not realistic, but was that realistic for a mountain lion attack?
No, so that's puma con color, and they're very unlikely to just attack like that unless it was rabid, which even a rabid mountain lion probably wouldn't do that.
I can't revive her? Oh, no! Oh, crap, I'm getting shot. From who? From whence am I getting shot?
Why are they shooting at you?
Well, because this is like a fundamentalist compound. I want that ATV.
It's not LA.
Oh, yeah, see, look, here's one of the fundies.
Oh,
Good time to reload.
yeah.
Where's my...
It's just a regular day in Tooele.
Oh, look, I was wearing good... I was wearing my good trousers, though, so I probably would have not gotten ticks.
Yeah, you wouldn't have got ticks or chiggers and ticks maybe. If you took your pant leg and stuck it in your sock, or you had really large socks to pull over the pant leg, that would definitely reduce it.
So what's a chigger bite look like? Is it like a rash?
Kind of like chicken pox. And the chigger doesn't bite. What it does is it bores into your skin and then dies.
Ugh.
And so you have this dead carcass of a grub in your leg, larval mite, and
How do you get it out?
well, it'll pus up, and that's looks like chicken pox, and basically there's a dead mite in there.
I think I just got semi-automatic. It's good. So does it? To be really gross, does it pop like a zit?
Yeah. And if you were to take and if you're gonna pop that little zit and then take the pus and put it on a little slide and look under a microscope, you'll see the.
So I probably had chiggers before.
Probably.
And just thought it was like an ingrown hair.
Yeah. And they'll go all the way up your leg.
Ugh. That's so gross. Because I take the dogs hiking all the time, and I'm like, shorts are a good idea.
Well, chiggers aren't that big of a problem here in the West.
Ugh. They're in
We do
Texas.
have them, just they're not very common.
Wait, where were those ATVs? I want an ATV so we can go. Well, we saw a puma attack, which was what'd you call it? It wasn't a puma. Was it a
No, it was puma. Yeah,
Okay.
Puma con color, mountain lion.
All right, so pumas and mountain lions are the same.
Yeah. Well, the mountain lion is the common name. The puma is the genus, and con color is the species.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, was this the lettuce? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like wild mustard.
Prickly lettuce.
I'm trying to figure out what grass that is.
It's the one that's full of black widows, apparently.
Well, maybe.
Okay, so staying off the road seems to be a smart idea. I think. Oh, the good news about me dying is that the lady's back. Was that? What? Oh,
There's another.
back.
Wow.
I don't
That
think-
mountain lion's relentless. Oh.
Reload.
She's dead.
Oh, man. I'm a bad shot. I can't remember how you auto. Oh, I can revive her, which involves picking her up.
Don't know what to say.
That was easy.
Thanks.
That's not realistic at all.
She's fine.
Don't draw attention to me.
Alright, time to get some prickly lettuce.
Give her some of that mustard.
Here, eat this.
There's antioxidants in it.
Oh no, can we... Let's give this guy some mustard. Wake up, Sleepy.
That guy's not moving too much.
Wake up, Sleepy. Uh-oh, someone spotted him. Oh no. Oh no. Can't remember how you, Uh-oh.
He just threw a grenade.
And I killed myself with the grenade. Alright, one more life, and then we'll bust out our next compadre.
Oh, what is that flower? Is that nightshade?
That's the ones that are hanging up drying. They have some kind of symbolism in the lore of the game, and I don't know what it is.
Huh.
So
The flower looks very familiar. I wish Jess was here. She would know what that is.
I think it's the same one, right? It does kind of look like nightshade, but isn't nightshade
I think that's
purple?
tobacco. That looks like tobacco.
Huh.
Why else would they be drying it?
Oh, maybe it's like a holy flower for this weird cult.
Aren't you going to talk to your mullet friend? You shot him last time.
Nah, I'm good. Well, okay, first of all, it was a grenade.
More reason to go
never-
talk to him and apologize.
I would never shoot a friend, okay?
Well, if my friend had a mullet, I'd probably shoot him.
Oh, no, wait, I wanted the semi-automatic.
You're littering. You're just dumping your guns out on
It's Twilla.
the... It's true. It's full of shotgun shells and Coors Light.
So I went, by the way, chat, if you have any questions about bugs or wildlife, feel free to ask. We'll totally answer. Well, Rob will do his best to answer any questions that you might have. So this is going to be our third time. This is like Groundhog Day now. So I need to be really prepared to shoot this cougar. Or puma, whatever we're calling it.
Well, cougar also.
there's
Cougars,
so
mountain
many
lions,
names?
pumas, all the same thing.
Okay. And then when I die, which one do we want to bring out next?
How about a hissing cockroach?
Are you make it hiss?
I'll make it hiss.
So I hope everyone in chat appreciates the fact that Rob brought us all these insects, and I'm letting them be free-ranging in my house. I wish you would name them. I know it's probably like not scientific to give them pet names, but I really like. So on social media I called the tailless whip scorpion the dude.
Dude, awesome.
And then I called your Asian forest scorpion Juliet.
Juliet, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a sweet name
It's a
for a
good
sweet
name.
girl.
Well, I have
Ooh,
both a male
deer.
and female hissing cockroach. We can call them George and Gracie.
Is that an elk or a deer?
Oh, I missed it. I wasn't looking.
You can see the white tail.
Oh, well, if it had a white tail, then that's
It's a
most
white-tailed
likely a deer.
But it had, it was hard to see the buck's antlers. And now, of course, I scared them off.
It's a mule deer. It's Odocoiles hemionus, which the Latin species name means half-ass.
No, really?
Yeah, hemi, onus, half-ass.
Why is it called that?
Well, I mean, the common name's mule deer.
See it.
Yeah, it looks like a mule deer. Yeah. So that's Odocoiles hemionus.
Okay. Let's say I have a license. I can only shoot the buck, right? Ooh, there she is. Ah! Don't come after me! Ah! Ah!
Oh, wow.
Ah!
That's scary.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
See, I think if you had just shot
What
that
did I just
gun, it would have just ran away.
See? That's what I'm thinking. Oh, I just shot him in the head, but it didn't do
This
a
is
lot.
clearly some rabid zombie puma.
Whoa! What? Did the dogs get me, or did the...
I think you
That's
bled.
terrifying.
I think you bled to death.
I wish I could remember how to
Hit an artery.
auto target. Yeah, and I don't have any med packs, because I didn't go back into the trailer. Okay. Alright, so I died. So now it's bug cam time. Which I'm significantly less afraid of these dudes, but I'm still gonna move, because I really
Oh,
don't
they're
want
so
one to, like...
cute, though.
They're really cute, but I don't want one
Look,
crawling on me.
he's eating your lettuce.
So, never let me said I'm a bad host, right?
So this is a Madagascar hissing cockroach. This one is an adult male. And the males, you can tell the difference between the males and the females. The males have these little horns on the pronotum. I'll grab a female so you can see the difference between the two.
Yeah, why not? Let's get more.
So there's...
Oh, she's hissing.
See, this one's the female. This one's the male. They're both host to a colony of mites. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but they're covered in these little tiny mites.
That are definitely on my carpet.
But they won't live very long. They're specialists on the host. So the cockroach will have fungus or bacteria growing on it, and the mites will feed on the fungus and bacteria. And so these cockroaches are actually very clean because they have these mites that are always feeding on any bacteria or dirt or whatever that's covering them. So, but hissing cockroaches, they're edible. A lot of animals want to eat them. And I just put the female back because she was getting cranky. But they make this hissing sound as a defense in case of a predator. So if I want to try to eat this guy, see, he's making a hissing sound.
Oh, poor baby. Oh, poor little dude. It's
so
okay.
they make this hissing sound
it's like...
by taking air into their body and expelling it out really fast through these little holes on the side of their body called spiracles. All right,
okay,
calm
buddy.
down.
Okay.
Here you go. Shh. So they make that hissing sound. It's a great defense because what else makes a hissing sound? Snakes. So if I were a lemur in Madagascar who wanted to eat this cockroach, it'll make that hissing sound, and it's a great way to avoid getting eaten. And insects, they don't have a diaphragm that pulls air in and out of their body like mammals do. They just have a series of holes throughout their body called trachea. The tracheal system connects to spiracles, which is on the outside of their body, and in these holes, just oxygen flows freely throughout the body. So, this one's an adult, but I've seen them get bigger. They get about 3 inches long, depending on where you find them. Do you have any questions about it, Ashley?
Yes. I have so many. I'm not getting shot at by zombies. Let's do that. Let's look at our map while I ask questions. So you had 3, right? I see one in your hand and not...
Actually, I had 4. I don't know where the 4th one is. I'm just kidding. There's only 3.
Oh, okay. There she is. Okay.
See, there's a little guy there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, see, they're all there. There's one there. And there's the female right here.
So why do you have 3 cockroaches?
Well, that's all I brought. I mean, there's 30 of them, or more.
So
at
George
the house.
and what was the other?
Yeah, this one's George, and the other female's Gracie. This is George and Gracie. I actually gave hissing cockroaches to my mother for Mother's Day.
Aw.
And she loved them, and I gave that to her, and she named them George and Gracie, and she had them, they only live less than 3 years, from juvenile to adult, but just from that pair, she's bred them, and they've had babies, and she still has a colony of cockroaches just from those 2 that I gave her for Mother's Day. God, that was like maybe 26 years ago, something like that.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So she has George and Gracie's great-great-great-grandchildren?
Yeah, and these are actually some of her great-great-grandchildren.
Aww.
Hence why they're so small. So much inbreeding, they get smaller and smaller.
Really?
I need to add more to the more genetics to the group.
So why do you keep them, besides the fact that they're really cute?
Oh, well, they're really fun and they're cute. And
They got personalities.
Yeah, they got personalities, and weirdos like me like to keep them around just to show people.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What?
See, and they're fun, look.
Oh, okay, be nice to George. George, you've earned your keep today.
So when they hiss, does that mean they're upset, or is it just instinctual?
It's upset. Yeah, because see, he's not. Oh, actually, that's a good question because they will also hiss in courtship. So males will fight
really?
and hiss at each other, and females will hiss back. So they'll actually hiss to communicate as well. It's really cool seeing them fight.
Like, just the males, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the males with these horns on their head, they'll kind of ram each other like two rams.
No
they'll
way.
Try to push each other off a log.
And then the lady's just watching, like...
Yeah, she's just like, oh, I like him. He's sexy.
More of a slow hiss, like.
Yeah, like, who's? And he's like, shh.
Do they really sound like that, or are you just being funny?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'm imitating the hissing quite right.
Okay.
I'm probably insulting George here. He's like, you're not doing it right
He's like,
at
dude, seriously, you got these lights.
Gracie's looking pretty interested, though.
Yeah.
What's Gracie doing?
I was just joking.
Oh, good.
Gracie is, yeah, she's just there.
She's like, I'm done.
She's like, this sucks. I want to go back to my cage.
Right. Well,
with
thank
my
you,
60
George.
children.
Oh. Oh, George. Okay.
Well, I touched his butt. He didn't like that. Oh, quit that.
So they suck in and puff out. They don't hold air in.
Yeah, and so if you, I don't know if the camera could pick this up, but
Oh,
there's little
poor
sides on the side of their abdomen. You see how he's flexing his abdomen in and out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's let George sleep. He's been through a lot today. Thank you, George. He's still hissing. He's like, sons of jerks.
He's still mad. I hate everybody.
I'm gonna go to my room, listen to some My Chemical Romance.
Chemical Romance.
So my favorite part about George and Henrietta, George and
Gracie,
is that the lid on their enclosure doesn't really fit properly. So.
Oh, I got it. It was just Ben.
I might have some of George and Gracie's grandchildren at my house. Forever and ever.
You know, they breed pretty well in captivity and inside homes, as long as it's warm and humid. So
Great.
a bathroom is a great place to find it.
Do you find them? Like, has any of them ever gotten out?
So when I was curator of the Arthropod Museum at NAU, we had a live insectarium, and hissing cockroaches get out all the time, and we'd occasionally, and that cage was on the 4th floor, but we'd find babies all the way, like on every floor. So you occasionally see them in the restrooms.
Gross. So we have a question from chat. Can you just buy them at pet stores?
Oh yeah, they're not every pet store, so probably not like at PetSmart or Petco. It'd probably be at an exotic pet store. If you live in Tooele, Rockstar Pets has them. Don't know of any pet stores in Salt Lake that have them, but I'm sure there are. Probably Mark's Ark might have them.
I don't know what it is. Oh, there it went.
I recommend if you go to the Reptile Expo, you'll get them there. And then they always have huge cockroaches at that Reptile Expo.
Because people use them for feeding.
Yeah, well, and that's great because they're awesome pets, and then the offspring you can keep or feed to your pet lizards. Or you can eat them yourself. If you cook them, I recommend frying them in some olive oil. They taste like pork rinds. So you want to probably break, probably want to break the legs off though. The legs are a little hard to digest.
Oh. Oh. Have you really done this?
Yeah.
His wife's a vegetarian, by the way.
Yeah, but she's eating them.
No.
Those of you who
Not
are
even.
vegetarians, insects are a great source of protein. 0 fat, 100% protein. Much better than tofu.
Ow. Okay. I have so many questions. I don't know where to start. How do you know when it's done? Oh, there's mustard. That said it was mustard.
Where?
That
does not look like a mustard.
Yeah, that's what it says. Okay, so how do you know if you're frying up some olive oil cockroaches? How do you know when they're cooked thoroughly?
They kind of puff up and look like they're about ready to burst.
And what's the texture like? They're a little crunchy?
They're crunchy.
Ooh,
They're crunchy. Oh, look, there's a deer.
Yeah. Like a doe?
That's a buck.
No.
Yeah, see the horns?
Oh, that was a buck. Yeah, now I see the
How did you miss it?
Well, because I was aiming at the doe. Which I didn't
kill
see
Bambi?
I didn't
You're gonna kill Bambi's mom?
I didn't see the buck. And also, we're in like weird post-apocalyptic times. So I don't think my hunting license matters.
Well, if you're gonna hunt for meat, you should definitely go for the does because the females, the meat is much more tender. Males typically have a musk gland, and the meat is tougher. They're fighting a lot. So, if you want good tasting deer, the doe is probably the best.
But you can't kill doe, right? Usually.
No, you can, but you have to get the right kind of tag.
What the crap? This is a really weird.
What's with the baseball bat with spikes? Ever since Walking Dead, now that's a thing.
Right. I need a med kit. That's what I need. I only have no. How much money do I have? Where's my money? Oh, I have 1,000 doll hairs. That seems like a lot. These guys. Okay, cool. All right, that's the lady with the dog that I think maybe got killed. Is this her truck? Her ATV? Well, mine now.
Just don't shoot anybody wearing orange. Unless you're Dick Cheney.
Let's see. Oh, I was like, how do I drive this thing? Okay. There we go.
There's the buck. Get the buck.
Ooh, this is hard. It's hard to do.
Yeah, I like to take an AR-15 out hunting.
Oh, well, I was thinking about that. There's not going to really be any meat left, huh?
Yeah, I like my meat to taste like a pencil.
Just lead.
Good combination of lead and meat. Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, you can like fully just like smash your ATV into 5 trees in this game, and it's like, oh, okay. I'm worried about it. I'm sure it's fine. Woo! Oh, no.
That's a strong ATV.
Yeah.
Is it made out of adamantium?
May have had it.
Vibrating.
Woo! Okay, the camera. Okay. More bug talk. Oh, we haven't even gotten into the scorpions, huh? Rob brought two scorpions.
I did.
There was a question in chat though. Let's see. Does steam come out of the hiss holes?
The hiss holes?
That's vulgar.
You know what? I bet if the cockroach were in a warm area and then you took it outside in the wintertime and pissed it off and it expelled the air, you'd probably see steam.
Well, that was when you were talking about cooking it.
Oh, when you're cooking it. Oh, probably.
Oh.
I guess it really just depends on the the temperature outside. But I've just seen them swollen up. I've never seen like steam come out of them.
Not like a teapot.
Yeah, it doesn't whistle. Not like a lobster when you cook it.
Lobsters with?
Yeah, because there's air escaping the shell, and that's what causes that squealing sound. And people think it's the lobster making crying.
I thought
out
it
in
was,
pain.
yeah.
No, it's just air escaping the shell.
Huh. So I just jumped out of a moving vehicle for no particular reason. And I'm regretting my choice. I wonder if I can build a campfire. I feel like it's getting nighttime.
I wonder what those red flowers are. That looks like a penstemon of some kind. Yeah, it looks like firecracker penstemon.
Nice. Do we get that here in Utah?
Yeah. It's great for hummingbirds. Hummingbirds pollinate it. And here's an interesting thing. Insects don't see red. So pollinating insects, bees, butterflies, they only go for flowers that are yellow, white, blue, purple. but they never
I did
pollinate
not know
red
that.
flowers. And if you see a bee on a red flower, it's not actually attracted to the color, it's probably just smelling the nectar. And so if you really want to attract pollinators to your garden, you want to plant a lot of flowers that are white, yellow, and blue. Red flowers typically attract hummingbirds. So if you want hummingbirds, you're probably going to want red flowers. And firecracker peppermint is a great flower to attract hummingbirds with.
Nice. Is this just a rat?
That looks like an invasive Norway rat.
It's not. Scared of
Rattus
me.
norvensis, I think is the species.
It does not care at all. It's staring down the barrel of death.
Eat it.
I don't know if I can. I mean, okay, first of all, this seems a bit overkill. I don't think I need an SMG for...
I think you should throw a grenade at it. Punch it.
That's so mean.
Step on it.
Oh no.
Oh, you just
no.
punched it.
Oh no! Where'd it go? That was gonna be my dinner. I wasn't killing it for funsies. I was killing it because I have nothing to eat. And I need to regain some health.
Eat some of that grass.
Oh yeah, how do I do that? Where's my inventory? I actually don't remember how to use my inventory. Does this do anything? Oh, is this a camera? No. What is this? Oh, these are my binoculars. Okay. Uh-oh. That's another grenade, I think.
That one didn't go off.
Oh, you know what? It's a rock.
Oh.
So it's to distract enemies. Like if there's some dudes with guns, I can throw a rock into bushes and they'll be like, what was that? And then I can sneak past, I think.
This is some nice landscape. I don't see any exotic or invasive vegetation. I don't see what's native.
It's getting dark though, and I don't have shelter. What the crap is that? Is that a person?
This looks like sand dropseed grass.
What is that? Is that a turkey?
That's a turkey.
Oh no. Come here, little turkey.
Are you going to shoot you with their AR-15?
Well,
Not going to be much left.
how do I switch weapons again?
Oh, that grass looks like a bromus of some kind. That could be actually an invasive species. That could be cheatgrass.
Uh-oh. I forgot how to choose weapons.
You just messed up that deer.
It's still good.
Huh? Spit out the lead.
Where'd it go? It's too dark. I can't see. Oh no. Okay. Okay, well, it's nighttime now, so guess I'll just sit here and
Well, you left
get some ticks.
a rotting deer somewhere. You're going
I
to
can't
attract
see it.
bears and mountain lions.
No way. This is good. This is a prime survivalist strategy.
Are there zombies in this game?
Hi, are you Australian? I'm Australian. It says that's Cash for Diamond Twitch. There you go. Are you Australian?
No, I'm not Australian.
But you do a pretty mean impression, Steve Irwin impression.
I do.
Speaking of, while we're waiting in the darkness.
My whiptail scorpion is eating the paper towel in there. That's weird. I've never seen it do that.
Let's get him out. Let's stop him from digesting.
He's getting antsy and he's eating... Why are you eating paper?
So if you're just joining us, get excited because we have a Tanzanian tailless whip scorpion that is about to join us to play some Far Cry.
Look at this guy. What are you doing? You're silly.
What does it eat?
He was just chewing on the paper towel.
Does it need food?
He's probably thirsty. Should probably give him some water. Probably just getting the water from the container. I don't know why I snapped it on. Leave it open so I can put it back.
Want me to put a little bit of water in there?
No, it'll be fine. We'll give it some beer. So yeah, this is a Tanzanian tailless whip scorpion. They're in the Amblypygidae group. And these are really cool. They're cave-dwelling species. and they don't have very good vision at all. And so they spend their entire life in the dark. And these long things here are actually legs. They're not antenna, even though they look like antenna. But at the very tips, you can see they're prehensile. So they can fit into all kinds of little cracks and crevices. And they're highly sensitive. They're so sensitive that they can feel a cricket's heartbeat on the surface of a rock just by touching the rock. These guys will get large enough to where they'll even eat bats. And they have these, they're not poisonous, they're no stinger, but you see they have these claws here that they use for grabbing their prey. And they're quite strong. It can pinch me, enough to maybe draw a little bit of blood, but not too bad. Right now it's tasting my finger.
Salty.
Yeah. See, nope, but no fangs.
Oh, it's a little.
I actually feel
so
it
cute.
nibbling a little bit.
She's hungry.
He is hungry. Look at her. She's actually trying to eat my finger.
What do they eat?
Crickets.
Oh. I don't have any crickets.
So cute.
I like that her little paws look like hands.
Oh, the claws here?
Yeah. I like calling them paws though, because it's so cute. She's like, no, mine. You can look, but you cannot touch. This is mine. So how's she with light?
She's okay with light. I mean, she'll definitely avoid it. She'll probably try to, move into the dark. So, if I keep holding her like this, eventually she'll try to move, probably move onto the other side of my hand.
She is pretty. How big will she get?
See if
She's
she'll
gonna pinch your nose.
She's gonna pinch my nose. Or bite it. Come on, get that big clunker nose. Oh, she's scared.
Aww.
She's like, that's repulsive. That's the grossest thing I've ever seen.
And I eat crickets. Does she eat the full cricket, or does she?
Yeah, she eats the full cricket. She'll use these claws to grab it and hold it in place, and she'll bring it to her jaws and just chew up the whole thing and swallow it.
Okay, so it's not like a spider that like sucks out the innards. It's more like.
Yeah, she'll masticate it and chew it up and completely
just like
digest
us eating
it.
a chicken wing.
Yep.
So you said that there's no venom. She does not bite. Well, she was nibbling you, but she doesn't bite like a venomous bite.
Yeah.
If anything, has a tooth-ill bite, as my mom used to say. But she'll pinch, but not super bad. And then no tail. So how are they related to the scorpions with the tails?
Well, calling them scorpions is really not correct at all. They're actually more related to mites than they are scorpions.
No.
Yeah.
Like the mites that were on the cockroaches?
Mm-hmm. But, just as far as common name, tailless whip scorpion is just the common name they were given. But, yeah, they're really not like scorpions at all.
Is it because they kind of, I don't know, I guess their body shape kind of looks like a scorpion? Or maybe I could say a pincers?
I guess. Yeah, because they have these pinchers here, which are like a scorpion's claws. But scorpions don't have these. They don't have these long feeler legs.
Those legs look delicate. Are they?
They are pretty delicate. And I just love the fact that they, at the tips here, so from here, from this appendage all the way down, is all prehensile. So if you looked at it very close, there's many segments.
Oh, look at her little leg.
They're all segments.
She was looking for...
Yes.
She's like, home. I want to go home. I am done.
Do you want to hold her? She's really friendly right now.
Is she germy, though? Should I wash my hands?
She's not germy.
Okay. Okay. She doesn't like me. Oh, she's so sweet and light.
I'm just kidding. She is very germy. Now you have gonorrhea herpa AIDS. See, she's just... Look at look, she's going at you with her claws and everything.
I know. She looks like she wants to be in my hair. Her claws look like something out of a horror film.
It does. She looks very menacing with these claws, doesn't she?
And the little spines on her legs.
Mm-hmm.
Not legs. Her arms.
Claws, right here.
Yeah, those look pretty gnarly too.
Well, it's all to help grip the prey. So just like a praying mantis, you know, when it catches its prey, it needs to be able to hold it in place. All those claws and all those spines help hold it in place. And those claws those spines will actually, you know, kill it too. So it can crush its prey before eating it.
How many eyes does she have?
So they have a cluster of eyes, and there's probably about 6 in that little cluster right at the top. But they're not really usable at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this over dinner because #ScienceStream, also #nerds. It's kind of interesting because, like, giant squid have really big eyes, even though they're in low light, so their eyes can let in more light.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, blind cavefish don't have eyes anymore. So it's interesting that she has, like, a cluster of 6 eyes, right? But she's not really using them for anything.
Yep.
So
They're mostly photosensitive, so those eyes will just let her know whether there's light in the area or not, and she'll try to avoid it.
So are we making her uncomfortable with our studio lights?
Oh yeah, I mean
I'm sorry.
She's definitely not enjoying it, and the reason she's moving around is she's just trying to find a dark space.
Okay. Well, what was her name? Juliet. I named her Juliet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Juliet, thank you for being on stream, and I'm sorry that you're not comfortable. She feels like a twig or something.
Yeah, very light.
Very light
Yeah.
and very delicate and like I'm trying to be real careful because it feels like, you know, just snap like a twig if you put too much pressure on her.
Oh, look at that. She's just hanging out on my hand. She likes me.
Well, she probably knows her daddy. And also, maybe my lotion or something is...
Well, that's
I
true.
put it on this morning and
Oh,
washed my
okay,
hands
yeah.
multiple
Certain
times.
chemicals they probably don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not great for her. Okay, Juliet.
All right. Well,
We'll get
you
you
were great.
back in
Let's
the dark.
put you back
I
in
know,
there.
she's so sweet. When you said that you really liked this particular species, I was like...
Yeah, this is one
They're actually
I want to
really
get
cool.
a tattoo of.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Get maybe
I can
like
see it now.
a tattoo right here on my face.
What would you do if she pinched your eye?
I would probably curse.
That's fair. That's so gross. There's Rob in the sky with a bug on his face. This is the quality content.
Come on,
I
you go.
stream
Oh,
for.
down the eye.
Crikey.
Crikey, that's a big spider on my face.
It's not a spider though, right?
It's not a spider, no. Not a spider. It's not a spider, it's an ambly pigeon. And they got vicious fangs.
I like how you fluctuate between like Southern British and...
Yeah, I really can't. I'm not good with accents.
I appreciate you trying.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, now really.
Alright, big fella. Now we'll take you back. Put you back in your terrarium. Get off my hair.
That's what I was worried about because her legs are so spindly. I was like, well, she's gonna get in there. What kind of terrarium does she have?
She has a nice tropical terrarium with a little waterfall in there.
Aww.
She's
She's
got
clearly Daddy's
She's
favorite.
got moss. Yeah. She's got her own cage with lights and all that. Yeah.
How big is it?
It's a small. It's only about that tall, that wide. So probably 10-gallon.
Say any last base. Would you recommend
So
tailless whip scorpions as pets?
oh yeah, they're great pets. And what's most important for a container, so if you wanna have one of these and keep it a long time, height is more important than width. And so when these guys shed skin, they typically hang. And so if there's not a lot of height for them to hang, then when they try to molt, they're going to have deformities when they molt and they'll die.
Oh.
So they need to hang, and they need to hang low enough to where their whole body can hang without touching the ground. If it can touch the ground, then it's not a tall enough cage.
And how big do they get?
Well, this one will probably get maybe 2 more inches. So
that's not so big.
Yeah.
But you said
I've seen them bigger in the wild though.
Oh.
But yeah, this one. So there's different species. This one's in the genus Damien. I think Damien variegatus is the largest. I'm not sure what species this one is.
They're native to only Tanzania or?
Thailand, Central America, Florida. So they're tropical, and so pretty much most of your tropical areas you'll find them.
Florida even.
Yeah, you'll even find a species in Arizona. And that's,
but not the vinegar.
No, not the vinegar. It is a tailless whip scorpion, but it's not as big. They get about the size of maybe a $half. But you'll find those in southern Arizona. They're like the Chiricahua Mountains, Huachuca Mountains.
Crap, there's a dog. Ah! No, get off! Get off! No, don't make me hurt the dog. You don't want to hurt the dog. Stop. Oh,
You did. You killed it.
that's the worst. Not puppers. Puppers aren't in this. That's not fair.
They need attack scorpions.
Let's see. If they can sense a cricket's heartbeat, it's kind of like sensory overload for them when you touch their sensors, question mark.
Yes.
Oh no! Were we stressing out Juliet?
Oh, every time you handle them, you stress them out.
Aww.
But I only handle these critters when I do shows like this. So the last time I did a show like this was like 4 months ago. So,
you do Twitch streams a lot?
well, it wasn't a Twitch stream. It was in front of a live audience. So it was a bunch of kids.
Oh, we're better than a bunch of kids,
Yeah.
for sure.
I know, you guys provide beer.
That's funny. Well, that's good to know, though, that they're stressed out, right? Because that's something to keep in mind when you're selecting a pet.
Well, and that's the thing is, it's not a normal pet. It's not like a cat or a dog where it actually likes attention. So invertebrate pets are great to have, but mostly to look at. And they're not, they don't particularly enjoy being handled. So if you want your invertebrate pet to live a long time, handling it very infrequently is probably the best thing.
How would you say snakes are on that note?
Snakes I think are the same thing. Or, they don't particularly enjoy being held, but they do enjoy the warmth. So they like your warmth of your body, but they'd rather just be left alone. If you had a hot rock in there for them, something warm for them to lay on, they'd rather do that than be on you.
What about where's the turkey?
Roadkill. Yeah.
Apparently that's the only
Definitely
way.
a redneck there. That's some
the only way
Tooele-billy.
It's the only way to get food in this game, clearly. Once again, I can't see if I actually hit it. It's unfortunate. So what about royal pythons? There are some breeds of snake that are super friendly, right?
Well, they seem friendly, but it's just the docile temperament.
Aww.
But I'm pretty sure they don't enjoy being held,
Sure.
other than the warmth of your body. That's probably the thing they like the most, is just that warmth. All ectotherms are going to enjoy the warmth, but not the actual handling.
Going off-roading. This actually reminds me of hiking. truck. This truck isn't too dissimilar.
There's not enough shotgun shells on the ground. So if this were, there needs to be more like empty cans of
Coors.
Natural Light, Coors Light, and shotgun shells up it. Then it would be Tooele.
Ooh, there's a sign on that. So what kind of native insects here in Utah? Not saying that you'd want them as a pet necessarily, but what kind might you find in an exotic pet store that people wouldn't necessarily know are from Utah, but be like, whoa, look at this cool looking bug. Does that question make sense? It's kind of I phrased off, right?
Yeah, probably. Usually larger insects like praying mantises. Sometimes you'll see praying mantises being sold in pet stores, and certain scorpions. So like desert hairy scorpions. It's a native species that's, again, very docile, has a very docile temperament. I brought one of those, so if you wanted to see one of those.
You brought a native scorpion?
I brought a native scorpion, yeah.
Oh,
I brought
awesome.
2 native scorpions.
But you also brought a bark scorpion.
Yeah, which is native. Not this far north, but probably in St. George County.
So bark scorpions we have in Arizona,
Yeah.
which is where we're both from, actually.
Mhm.
And they hurt real bad if you get stung by one.
Yeah,
Which is
and
why
they
I'm
could be
making this
potentially lethal. So
So walk me through that.
Well, so they have a neurotoxic sting. The sting is very similar to the neurotoxic venom of a black widow bite. So it attacks the nervous system, and different people handle it differently. Some people.
Is that why my arm went numb? When
Yeah.
I got bit? I got bit in the left side of my neck and my arm went numb.
Yeah,
My left
and
arm.
a lot of times you'll feel pain in the lymph nodes. So you should have felt pain in the lymph nodes of your armpit.
Probably. I was 21 at the time, so.
A severe reaction, though, it usually starts off like that. You get the numbness, but then you have, attacks in your lungs and heart, and so you're having, problems breathing. When you get to that point, you should definitely go to the hospital. And usually it involves some steroids to kind of open up your lungs and throat and stuff like that.
So I never got the lung thing, but I definitely remember having like heart palpitations.
Yeah.
Which was not super fun. And that's when I was like, yeah, it's ER time.
Well, typically with black widows and bark scorpions, their venom is not, it's not bad enough to kill people unless you're immune compromised.
Right.
So typically they're most deadly to senior citizens and children. But young, people who are, athletic, well fit, typically don't, it's not a life-threatening situation.
It sucked. It fully sucked. But I was able to go to work afterward. The doctor put me on antibiotics and hot compresses.
Mm-hmm.
So the antibiotic thing is so silly. It's because they're worried about secondary infection.
Antibiotics is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That anytime a doctor gives you antibiotics to treat venom, I would be against it. I would say, there's no reason for that.
Yeah, they said it's for secondary infection, but it's like what?
For
It's
something
not
like
like-
a spider bite.
It's not like a possum bit me, right? Like it's a spider bite. But I think they just hand out antibiotics like they're candy anyway.
Antibiotics for a bite, I would probably consider for like a large animal. Like if you got attacked by a mountain lion, yeah, antibiotics would be good there because of all
Speaking
the
of, I'm getting attacked by something right now.
all the animals that they're eating. They're sometimes about chew on carrions. They got all that.
That was a Wolverine.
nastiness
A
under
Wolverine just attacked me.
Is that a
That's why-
Wolverine?
Yeah, I thought it was a dog, but it says I just looted. I skinned it. I got a Wolverine pelt.
Nice.
It's hard to see. Are there Wolverines in Montana?
In Montana?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the distribution of wolverines.
Huh. No, they have them in Michigan. I'm surprised they didn't in Montana. Yeah, and hot compresses were to draw the venom out. But basically, I went from having like a golf ball sized lump on my neck to getting like a cysty, zit-y type thing that just kind of
Yeah, not
expressed
good.
itself, and then But, so I can say that I survived a black widow bite, and it was not so bad.
Never thought this
Oh, there's
gun
Mountain
would
Lion
see
Lady.
so much use. You ain't a Peggy, so you're okay in my books. You got the look of a hunter in your eye. That's good. Things are good.
Okay.
How's that for fucking manners?
Oh, she said a swear.
Gotta keep an eye out for Peggies.
Oh,
They come near me.
oh, you can pet the
There's
dog. It's a good boy. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, wait, we have a comment. Do scorpions, pinchers do anything, or are they just a way to hold prey after they get stung with the tail?
They're only used for holding prey, but larger scorpions sometimes won't even use their stinger at all. They'll just use their claws.
Whoa,
So something
that's
like
a power move.
Well, yeah, something like an emperor scorpion or the Asian forest scorpion that I'll show you later today. They have really muscular claws, and so there's no reason to use their stinger. So they can grab a cricket and they'll just rip it apart and eat it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ooh, what was that? Ooh, what's that?
That was a bird.
So how often do you deal with birds?
A lot, but birds aren't, they're not my specialty. I do work with other birders that is.
Do you
it
call
is
them
their specialty.
birders?
Birders, yeah.
That's not offensive to
No,
them.
they,
Do they
that's
call you a bugger?
no,
I'm sorry.
no.
That was only funny to me. Ooh, there's something moving over there. Oh, those are trucks. Those are the bad guys. Not wildlife. Oh no. Ooh, skunk! Oh no. I'm scared away. Crap, now I stink.
Did it spray you?
Yeah, well, that's why I've got the green going on.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah. That's funny because I've been sprayed by a skunk before, and it does affect all your senses. And
Really?
you do kind of see that halo around your eyes.
No way!
So that is a perfect description, as far as what you would probably see
No
after getting
way.
sprayed by a skunk.
Huh. I had no idea. So, I had a dog that got sprayed by a skunk. We did the whole tomato juice bath. Seemed to work okay. Oh, I'm getting shot at. No! I'm gonna be like a rabbit. Zigzag pattern. Confuses predators. Hey, it seemed to be working. Oh, that's sad. These Chihuahua billies are as easily confused.
Where'd to go, Jeb?
Okay, so, ooh, it's finally dawn. That was the longest night ever. Which we were talking about native scorpions before we got sidetracked, and I had to run like a rabbit. So you had bark scorpions, but I said no, you're not getting those out of my house because they're the same color as my carpet, and that'll be a fun game of hide and seek.
Actually, the ones I have are very bright yellow. They'll stand out a little bit.
A little bit, huh?
Well, you just turn the lights off and we have a black light. They'll show up right away.
Ooh, yeah, that's our big finale. So stay tuned. Not for that. We're not gonna mess around.
Yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna release scorpions in Ashley's house.
Someone should clip that. What was the other one? The one that isn't a bark scorpion.
That I brought?
Yeah.
Oh, desert hairy scorpion.
Ah, are they hairy?
Yeah. So the the stinger is hairy. So it's not the.
How big is it?
The one I have is only about 2 inches, but they can get about 3 to 4 inches.
Oh, that's pretty tiny. Pretty easy to lose in someone's house. What color is that one?
It's kind of yellowish.
Carpet colored.
Well, if your carpet's yellow, then I'm colorblind. Yours is more like tan, brown.
Yeah, scorpion colored.
Yeah, I guess the desert hairy would probably blend in with your carpet, but the bark scorpions I think would stand out.
Can you handle the desert hairy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it actually a hair?
Ooh.
Is it actually a hair?
It has hair around the stinger and part of its claws.
It's the same kind of hair.
No, it's not like the same kind of hair that mammals have. It's also chitin. They're
comparison made it tiny.
Crap. I done goofed. I disappointed everyone. Here comes. This is right. I was on this mission. Stop playing. Because it's hard to not alert everyone. There. Okay. Hairy Scorpion time.
All right. Well, do you want to see the Asian forest scorpion, or do you want to see the desert hairy scorpion first? I guess we were talking about it, so yeah, I'll go get it.
First. Only because then we can do the black light for.
Well, they both glow.
No, really?
Yeah, all scorpions glow.
I didn't know that. Isabel, chill out.
Hey, don't bite my ass.
Isabel, those are his scorpions, not ours. He's not stealing anything. Isabel, come here. Isabel. Come here. Come here. You're okay. Uh-oh, I think I just shot a tree. Oh, no, I'm shooting lots of trees. Isabel's really interested in these scorpions.
Okay. Well, I got
which is not good.
the desert hairy in this one, and I got bark scorpions in this one.
Okay. Isabel, we need to not have you around scorpions. So, come over here. Isabel. Thank you. Come here. Go. Yep, that's a good place for Isabel. Sit. Sit. We can't have puppers getting stung. No stinging for puppers. Beaker Man, Yellow Dad. Are you calling Rob the Yellow Dad because he's just picking up a scorpion like it's in BD? Is there only one in that case?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, so this is a desert hairy scorpion, Hedruis arizonensis.
From Arizona?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just
So
like
the
that.
genus is Hedruis. This specific species is arizonensis. So the reason it's called a desert hairy is if you look at the stinger here, it's got hair all over the stinger. Now this one, this is a wild scorpion, so I don't recommend handling it. Let me calm it down a little bit.
I'm laughing because
So there's a trick here. If you make it feel secure, like it's under a rock, it'll kind of chillax a bit.
Tell us how you can tell that it's relaxed versus.
So the stinger is down, so it's kind of off to the side. So that's kind of a very docile temperament right there. But this particular species is, pretty docile. Now the bark scorpion is not only very venomous, it's also very aggressive. So I could not. So I could not hold a bark scorpion like this because it would move around really quickly and it'll pretty much just sting anything.
Would it just straight up sting you? Like straight away? Just be like...
Yeah, as soon as I even put my hand in there, it would probably try to sting. Yeah.
That's super aggressive.
Yeah.
So what evolutionary benefit is there to being aggressive versus docile? Like why would one scorpion take one strategy over the other? Is it due to environment?
Yeah, and probably predators. So, if you're a small scorpion, you can get eaten by many different small lizards. In addition to larger animals like, birds and squirrels and coyotes. But a scorpion like this, is probably not going to have to worry too much about other lizards. But it could, could have problems with certain rodents, coyotes. So it can sting and it can protect itself. And the sting of the scorpion is pretty painful. If it were to sting me, the sting would last probably a good 3 to 4 hours. You'd probably have maybe 1 hour of excruciating pain, and the rest of it, you kind of have this euphoria feeling. So, not worth the pain, though.
Oh, okay. So is that just like your adrenal response, like your adrenaline?
Yeah. So.
Do you take Harry to schools?
Sometimes, yeah.
Where are the eyes?
So the eyes are right there. So there's a little black cluster there.
Oh. And then the mouth parts, I guess, are...
Yeah, and these are the mouth parts. Oosh. Oh, that would have been good, huh? So there's an aggressive response right there. The tail is up and ready to go. So I'm going to try to calm it down. Just chill, Beavis.
Is that one named Beavis?
Yeah.
Oh, no way!
Yeah.
So you normally don't name your invertebrates, but that one has a name.
This one has a name.
Is there a butt head?
I don't have a butt head.
Oh, Beavis.
So, this one's a Beavis.
Damn it, Beavis. Calm down.
Damn it, Beavis. Fire.
So why is this one special? Why does this one get a name?
I don't know. I actually found this one while I was hunting. I don't know why I called it Beavis.
Okay, here's a question. I don't want anyone at home to get any ideas. However, how does one go hunting and come home with a scorpion? Like, what is it? So you found it and you're like, oh, cool.
Well,
I'm gonna put it in my boot for later.
the thing is whenever I'm collecting insects or going scorpion collecting or whatever, that's usually when I'll run into javelina or other cool animals. I usually find things when I'm not looking for them.
Yeah.
So I was hunting javelina at the time, and I really wanted a javelina, so I was like, well, I'm going to start looking for bugs. And as soon as I started doing that, I ran into javelina and got javelina. So it worked. And the great thing about being an entomologist is whenever I go hunting, I never come back empty-handed. I'll always find something cool to bring home.
So you were telling me what were we talking about things? You've caught dung beetles before?
Yeah.
So what's the most exotic location you've gone to, and what's the most exotic critter you've caught?
So probably Costa Rica, and I was in a forest that was like a chocolate plantation, like they were growing cocoa plants.
This is pretty much an accurate representation of the last time we went hiking. Nailed it!
Oh yeah, there you go. Nailed it.
Like a glove.
Like a glove.
Okay, so Costa Rica. And
Yeah, it was Costa Rica, and I saw this spider that was on a leaf, and it had this fluorescent color. It was just the way it was shining in the sunlight. It was just really beautiful.
And you caught it? Mm-hmm. What was it?
And it had, it was a type of tetragnath spider, so a long-jawed spider, and they have fangs that are about half the size of their entire body. Yeah.
Holy wow!
Yeah.
And then, so because it was in Costa Rica, you couldn't.
No, I did. I had permits.
Really? So do you have it?
I have the preserved specimen. I couldn't. You can't bring live stuff.
Okay, that's it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, Costa Rica's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the dung beetles?
I'm gonna put this guy back.
You should. You should definitely.
Come on, get back in there. Don't sting me.
See you, Beavis. It was nice meeting you.
You want to see a bark scorpion, so you can see the difference.
Really? But okay.
Okay.
How many are there?
There's two.
Okay.
So here they are. There's one right there, and there's one right here. And so you see how they're very small, but look at the claws. See how long and narrow those claws are?
Oh yeah.
So the desert hairy scorpion had big meaty claws, right? Bigger scorpions, they have those really big claws, so they're able to grab prey, and they don't really need their stinger. Well, these guys, they're very small and weak, so they gotta have a powerful sting to be able to bring down their prey. So if they're catching a moth or something, that sting will paralyze their prey right away.
So what's the biggest prey that they eat?
Crickets.
That's it. They have all that venom for a cricket.
Yeah. But think about an insect's nervous system is different than a mammal's. And so when a scorpion stings an insect, it'll paralyze the insect, and that insect's actually still alive. And that keeps it fresh. When it stings a vertebrate, especially a mammal, it's going to react a lot differently.
Huh. Okay, so it doesn't paralyze us when we get
Yeah.
nasty pain.
Nasty pain.
Does it sting the moths in flight? Is it fast?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. They're very fast. They have a very fast sting. If you get stung, the sting is so fast that you hardly see it.
You just get
Yeah.
And they hang out on trees to get moths? Is that why they're called bark? Or do they
Well, they're called bark scorpions, I guess, because you find them like in wood piles a lot. But I seem to find bark scorpions more often in rocky areas. So they really like rock surfaces.
And they don't chase prey. They wait for the prey to come close and then get them?
Yeah, and they just snatch them, grab them with their claws, and then sting them, and then they eat them.
tiny but vicious.
Yes.
Hey. I'm glad you're putting the lid back on. Oh, wait, were we gonna... I guess we should wait until the... Oh. Harry looks.
Little Harry.
Well, we can show them all glowing under a black light.
Yeah, so I was gonna say wait till night comes in the game. Next night cycle. Did you get stung?
No. Just got a splinter.
Oh. I thought you were trying to play fully. No.
No.
There's the deer. Crap. I'm gonna go hunting with my stick. Oh. I need to get back on camera. So I got distracted because I had a stick. Look at that. That looks like an
That's a
elk.
log. Oh, that is an elk.
Chasing with the stick. Oh, gross. The stick got bloodied.
From the elk?
Yeah, apparently. Like hitting... I'm sorry, swatting an elk on the ass with a stick is not gonna...
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Yeah.
They're gonna go... "Rah," and kick you, maybe, but... I'm not gonna... Dod's Dumps. What was your nickname in high school? Oh, crap, these are bad guys. Okay, I need to switch weapons. I don't think a stick is gonna do a whole lot against these fundies. Oh, speaking of Science Stream, I prepared a lot of facts. So Montana, this is a fun fact about Montana. So this game takes place in Montana, right? So Montana has several nicknames, although none are official, including Big Sky Country, which is on everything. In fact, I think the beer you're drinking is a Big Sky Montana beer. The Treasure State. No idea. No idea what that is. And slogans include the Land of Shining Mountains, and more recently, the Last Best Place.
The last best place.
Which I guess is meant to be like the last place of like natural beauty, but to me it sounds like, well, that'll do.
It's also home to Glacier National Park.
And part of Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Did I not fully kill this dude?
I'm a fucking goner if you don't help me out.
Well, I don't know if I...
Thanks.
Okay.
They got the jump on me.
I freed a hostage. I don't know why she was a hostage or why I
Some
freed
days
her.
the deer just
Well, I know why I
walk
freed
up
her.
to you.
Justice. Civilians are able to be hired. Okay. Alright, cool. Well, we don't know. Go be free. You're liberated now. So this is obviously quite fictional. So in this Montana, oh, prepper. They call them preppers. So I didn't know this either. Hitting you with some fun prepper facts, which is not nearly as cool as having scorpions out. But the program Doomsday Prepper on Nat Geo Wild. Have you ever watched it?
Hmm.
Good for you. Good for you for having a life. So it's about people who believe like the end is nigh and they stock up on stuff, right? Almost like extreme couponing, but like more dude bro.
That seems to be like a big thing here in Utah in general.
Yeah, and Montana too. So the Doomsday Prepper Show is the most watched Nat Geo show with
Really?
60% of the viewers are dudes over the age of 40, but it's their like big show. It's their cash cow, if you will. Ooh, a carabiner. Kind of neat one of those. Oh, nothing good. I wonder if that was for. Anyway, yeah. So this is kind of like Doomsday Preppers gone haywire, right? Ooh, there's skunk. I kind of want to get stung again.
Skunk.
Skunk again.
Oh, yeah, see, there's the halo.
That is so bananas. Uh-oh.
And that pretty much is what you see, and it's all blurry like that when you get sprayed too.
Huh. Oh, time to run over some stuff. I'm more interested in the wildlife since we're doing a science stream, so I'm less interested in killing the people. I'm more interested in finding that Wolverine.
Did you know Wolverine's teeth, they can actually break through steel with their teeth?
Get out of here. Is that like the X-Men? Is that why Wolverine's called Wolverine? Because it was adamantium? It's like so strong?
I guess.
Why can they... Oh, shiny deer. So why
Ooh,
can...
that's like that looks like a 5-point or 6-point.
I need to switch.
Ooh, is that a Wolverine in front of it?
Oh.
Looks like there's something in front of it.
You like how I'm being quiet as though if I talk,
We're like sneaking
deer,
up on
yeah.
it. Yeah.
If I talk, the deer might hear me. Okay. This site, I don't really trust.
Well,
this
that
site.
deer, if this was real life, that deer would have left already because you're actually in the wind, and you're not against the wind, so it would have carried your scent. That deer would have totally just taken off.
Yeah! Look, there's only 17 bullet holes. Oh. What? Is this telling me that's only good for bait? Because what the crap? Who did that? That wasn't me.
Oh, that's quite a slash mark.
How
How'd that happen?
did I skin it? Why can't I? It doesn't look skinned. Okay.
And I thought they smelled better on the outside.
What's that from?
Star Wars.
Oh, Tauntaun. Right? I can't crawl into this deer. What kind of deer is it? Is it a mule?
Yeah, that looks like a mule deer.
Oh, poor
Odocoiles hemionus.
half-assed.
Half-ass.
Well, now I'm sad. So I don't get to eat my deer. Ooh, there's another one. There's something crawling around over there. I see movement. Oh, it's the lady I liberated, I think. Is it her? Someone. Oh, it's a baddie. Huh.
Looks like
Wow.
Charles Manson.
I know, right? They often do in this game. It's very culty. Very culty looking. Okay. There's people screaming. All I want to do is hunt. I want to find another Wolverine so I can see it in the light. So are Wolverines aggressive? You say you didn't know.
Yeah, they're very aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a fun thing. So if I'm going camping down south.
You won't find a Wolverine.
Right. But
Well, you could find a spotted skunk.
what do I need to worry about? I'm going camping this weekend. What do I need to worry about?
Water.
Well, you saw my poor water solution. We covered that. But, what about snakes, scorpions, ticks, chiggers?
I wouldn't worry about ticks and chiggers too much. If they're there, you're going to get them no matter what. If you're out hiking around, though, and you really are concerned, pantyhose actually is a great barrier against ticks, fleas, and chiggers. So.
Isabel, how would you like to wear pantyhose? Oh, you mean for people?
Yeah.
Okay. So not effective on dogs.
No.
Although it probably would look really fun.
It probably would.
You're furry.
If she wouldn't chew it off, it'd probably be very effective. This time of year, rattlesnakes would probably be of some concern. It's been so cold lately, and these snakes, they typically emerge from their dens in April,
Right.
and then they reach their destination, going all through May into June, and then by June, that's when they're doing their zigzag foraging patterns. But because it's been so cold lately, you'll probably have a lot of these snakes out in the open, which means early mornings you should be careful because they're gonna be out basking, and that would be a good chance to run into one.
Now, with my experiences with diamondbacks, and they'll let you know when you get close.
Most rattlesnakes will, but the problem with the weather being so cold the way it's been is, they're not gonna rattle right away until you're like right up on them.
And then they might strike.
Might, but most of them will probably just rattle or not rattle at all and just wait for you to leave.
So, one of the really cool things, so I got to see a hognose viper in Costa Rica, which was
beautiful.
Not super fun because it's a little bit terrifying.
Was it on the ground or was it in vegetation?
It was on the ground, so it was kind of a similar situation where it was, they had a paved path for hiking, and it was to get you to the trailhead, and it was early in the morning, and it was sunning itself on the pavement because pavement holds more heat, right? So it was just kind of like hanging out there chilling, but we came upon it, and our guide was like, "Okay, get back," because they don't warn you; they'll just strike. Someone dying?
No, it's an elk.
Was it?
Yeah.
Look!
There's Wolverine.
I found one! It's coming right for me!
And it's got adamantium claws.
Wait, did they just hit and run like that?
Well, you did shoot at it.
Well, I feel like it... Okay. Cool. But I feel like most other stuff I shoot runs. I can't remember how to turn aim assist. There we go. There's someone else shooting at me. Okay, that was pretty weak sauce, dude. Because a Wolverine was eating me, so... you didn't have to try that hard, right? Uh-oh.
There's another person coming.
I know.
Another hill. With a torch.
Oh no, wildfire! Oh crap! Oh no! Oh no! There's a brush fire! A maniac! That's a legit concern. Oh no, this is who I couldn't save. I'm sorry, Billy. I got too distracted looking at deer. Okay, so rattlesnakes, yes. So how do I get Stupid 1 and Stupid 2, Digby and Isabel, to not go after a snake? I know they have rattlesnake training courses.
Yeah, well that actually is the best thing, is to rattlesnake training.
Or just keep them with me.
Keep them with you. Yeah, if you let them off the leash, they're more likely to go and harass a snake.
And what do you do if the dog gets bit?
Take it to the vet as soon as possible.
Okay, there's
yeah. You don't want to try antibiotics or anything like that, or anti-venom.
There's nothing you can do to prevent spread of the venom?
No.
While you're driving? Let's say you're an hour away from the nearest vet.
Yeah, you just leave it. So all the stuff that I learned in Boy Scouts about what to do with a snake bite is wrong. Never suck out the venom. Never cauterize the wound, and never use a tourniquet. Never try to cut the circulation. All that is wrong.
Really?
The best thing is just don't
anti-venom.
Don't even take anti-venom. You got to go to the hospital, because if you had anti-venom on you,
right,
you can go to epileptic shock or have an allergic reaction to the anti-venom, and it'll kill you right away.
Holy Holy crap.
So when when you go to the hospital for a snake bite, they're going to determine whether you should get antivenom or not. And then if you should get antivenom, they're going to give it to you very slowly and observe you to make sure that your body doesn't, have a crazy reaction to it.
Here's a fun question. Have you ever had to have antivenom?
No.
Oof.
No.
I'm surprised. Not because I think you're, doing silly
well,
things.
yeah,
but
I
exposure,
handle.
right?
Statistically, if
Right.
anyone's gonna, if you or I are gonna get bit by a rattlesnake, it would be me, just because I work with them more
Yeah,
often.
I work with grad students.
Well, if you piss one off, I mean, they could bring a rattlesnake and put it in your
They
desk.
bite, but they don't bite that hard. Oh, I was here when it was nighttime.
I think the best thing, though, is I have a very healthy respect for these animals. I never get cocky with them.
Yeah, for sure.
And so when I am handling them, I use very long tongs when I'm moving them from one area to another. And I'm just very careful. And I just tell myself every time I handle a snake that, hey, this could be the time you get bit. So don't take it easy. You always should be on your best vigilance.
But what about bugs? Ever been bit by a bug?
Oh, I've been bit by bugs all the time. Stung by
antivenom?
scorpions. I've been bitten by black widows. Stung by bark scorpions. I've never been bit by a brown recluse spider, though.
Oh, you have one.
I do have one. Oh, a dead one. But,
Yeah, it's tiny.
yeah. I had a live one. They don't live very long.
I was telling you before, I found I had unwillingly interacted with one, which was not the best situation. It scared me a little bit because they have necrotizing venom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the brown recluse has a necrotic venom, so it's more of a hemolytic toxin, and so it breaks down tissue. And the purpose of that venom, so this particular spider, it doesn't make a web like a black widow does. So when it captures prey, it catches it with its fangs and injects the venom, and it's kind of has to eat on the go. So it bites its prey.
It doesn't have any web, so it doesn't have a home.
No. Well, it has a burrow.
Oh, okay.
Was that a bear? It was a bear.
Where?
Behind that tree. Yeah.
There it is. Is it a black bear?
Looks like it. Ursus americanus.
So if I fired this gun right now, it would run?
Well, no, it should, but in this game, it seems like anything you shoot just jumps at you.
Well, I don't want to shoot it. Oh. Because black bears are like the cowardly bears, right? Ooh, it's booking it. Is it chasing down a deer?
It is going to a campground. It's going to go eat a Boy Scout.
Hey, boo-boo.
Hey, boo-boo, let's go get a picnic basket.
Is it eating something? Is it eating that deer I shot?
I think it's eating a child.
No. Oh wait, I have binoculars.
That's what happens
I
when
see
you
a
have
butt.
chocolate in your pocket.
Got something in my pocket. Ooh.
Oh,
Oh no! Ah! Ryan, put the binoculars down, you fool! Yeah, you weren't kidding. This game is I feel.
It comes at you again. See, ideally, if you just shot your gun in the air, it would have
Yeah.
run away.
Right? But now it's running. What the crap was it eating? Oof. Oh yeah, you weren't kidding. There's a campground.
Campground.
Hey, that looks like the tent I got. Okay.
What kind of campers are these guys?
Well, they got a crap ton of fuel for their. Holy crap! They got
One
Dutch
match
oven.
Dan.
That's all it takes.
Hey, what kind of beer? They got Coors Light.
No, this looks like. Oh, well, I just knocked it out.
You just drank it all.
Yeah. Let's see. Where's my binoculars? Don't fail me now.
They're not going to show you brands.
Skittlebrow.
What the hell is that? Is that a Montana variety?
No, do you remember, I'll tell you about it when we were at the pub. Homer Simpson used to mix Skittles with his duff. And he called it Skittlebrow.
Gross.
I'm sure that noise is fine. Don't worry about
You
it.
just punch the box.
Yeah.
Punch it.
I'm sure it's fine. Nothing to worry about here. Wonder what happened.
Except for that bear. Oh, you just started a forest fire.
Well, the bear...
That's Smokey the Bear's home. He just...
Well, let's all go for a nap. I'm
Sitting in that sleeping bag, yeah. It's like,
sure this will work.
What's a little human burrito?
It's pre-wrapped. Is that what you said?
It's pre-wrapped.
Where was that?
It's a human wrap.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, well, the bear's not really doing gluten right now, so the sleeping bag is gluten-free. Especially if it's down, then it's like a twofer. Oh, look,
Nice.
these campers are smart. They hit their loot. Is this a hillbilly deer hide? Or you just sit on a chair? Why would they put the tents up here?
Well, I think that's a hunting stand. You get up there and then you shoot animals that...
Hillbilly deer hide. Oh no, that is a forest fire.
Yeah, look at...
Who did that?
You did.
No, I would never. It's not fun these. Oh, I just fell on my butt. Hey, Light. Questions? No. I do have a spider I adopted because they decided to build a home in my bathroom nightlight, though. Oh, crap. So what's a common house spider, web building house spider here in Utah that we might...
Cellar spiders. So cellar spiders, anytime you see a spider in a web, like in the corner...
Did they just chop down a tree with that knife? Sorry to interrupt, but...
That's like Mike Myers' Halloween knife.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so cellar dwellers.
Yeah, cellar spiders. So they usually see them in like in a corner of a house near the ceiling, and they're often mistaken for brown recluse spiders because they're brown, but they're harmless and they're actually beneficial. They'll sometimes eat black widows. So these these cellar spiders they're pretty cool. What they'll do is they'll go into a black widow web and they'll bite the feet of the black widow, and they paralyze the black widow, and then they go onto the other side of the web and eat it.
That's such a power move to go and just like was the black widows can't bite them or something, or they're
Well,
like, oh my legs.
the spider so it has really long legs and it's very careful on how it climbs up the web, and it does it so delicately that the black widow can't feel it, and it just gives a little bite on the toe, and the black widow's like, what's going on? And then gets sleepy and doesn't move anymore, and then the spider comes over, eats it.
So just like when I started that forest fire, and I was like, oh, it's time for a nap. That's kind of what happens to the black widow, right?
Kind of.
They're like, oh, nappy. Have a little
nappy nap.
Little siesta. Okay, so I just killed one of nature's most beautiful animals because I want its pelt. Speaking of
Elk. Oh, elk.
So
And that's
big
some animal, I think it was a mountain lion chasing it. Or a wolf.
We haven't seen a wolf yet.
That's right, we can.
Should have gone back to the hillbilly deer
I'm surprised you're not seeing more bees pollinate these flowers.
Well, you saw the black dots. What more do you want?
I think there's those flies. I think you just stink. Because I just see them surrounding the character.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, in this doomsday
Your character hasn't showered.
Well, yeah, they don't even have like baby wipes in this doomsday scenario. I don't think I'm gonna catch up to what it was. Okay, so let's go back to the deer. Did I hear a hissing? What was that?
Ooh, it'd be cool if we had a rattlesnake here.
Are they rattlesnakes in Montana?
Yeah.
No, I always think of them as being like a hot climate animal.
Well, the Great Basin rattlesnake is probably, one that you'll find in Montana. They're like those colder areas.
I think it's time to do our final celebrity guest.
The Asian forest scorpion.
And then blacklight also.
Yeah.
Oh crap. That was a thing. That was an animal. Okay, this will be great time. Oh!
Wolverine. Oh, he's got you.
Oh, they're so tiny. They're so neat. Why can't I? Stop!
Yeah, stop. Kick it in the face. I hope you're wearing steel toes.
Oh no. Bye, Wolfie. I will
Look, it just keeps rolling down the hill.
Oh no.
Oh, it's kind of sad. Oh yeah, you just kick it.
As long as I wanted to keep rolling. Oh, that is so sad.
Look at all the bullet holes in it.
Well,
You filled that thing full of lead.
it attacked me first. They're so pretty, though. Now I feel really awful. They're like a little bear badger thing. Well, I'm sorry.
Oh, did you hear the bird in there?
Yeah, the choo-choo. Those are the ones that we hear when hiking.
Mountain chickadee.
Ah.
It's calling back to me.
This kid's really realistic. Okay, scorpion time. So I'm just gonna sit here with my 4 sad Wolverine. And I'm not gonna look at it 'cause it bums me out. Okay, so this is Juliet, right? Didn't I call her Juliet?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of leaves are those?
I don't know. They're tropical.
Isabel, no. Isabel. Isabel. No, 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 no. Don't eat that. Isabel, no scorpion for you. Isabel, come here.
Ow! He just pinched me.
Yeah, probably because Isabel.
Oh.
Is Juliet sick of our crap? We don't have to mess with
Yeah.
Juliet.
Hold on. She's really angry. I gotta calm her down. Alright, this is an Asian forest scorpion. Let's see if I can get her to chill out here. There we go. Ta-da! So this is one of the largest scorpions.
For people that weren't here before, say how you know that she's chilled out.
Oh, so I just calmed her down. Her stinger was way up and her claws were open. That's how I knew she was real aggressive. And when I put my hand over her and kind of press down just very gently, it makes her feel secure, like she's under a rock or something. And then she's nice and calm and docile.
And the tail goes down.
Yeah, the tail goes down. See.
Nice.
But you missed it. It pinched me earlier. So its claws, it pinched my hand. And its claws is like, have you ever handled a crawdad before? Crayfish?
Mm.
Yeah, it's like that. So it pinches
they
hard.
hurt. They
Yeah,
hurt,
yeah. But it didn't sting me. And it didn't really need to. I mean, its claws are powerful enough. And so these guys will use their claws to capture crickets and other insects, and they'll just like rip them apart with their claws.
So this is one of the species that you were saying doesn't need to sting. They'll just...
Yeah. Even though they have a stinger. And then if this guy if she did decide to sting me, it would feel like a bee sting. So their sting really isn't that bad.
Did you say the pinch is worse? Apples to oranges.
Yeah, I mean, it pinched me and it didn't draw any blood. But if it stung me, it'd probably itch for a while. That's for sure.
It'd be so cool if Juliet crawled under my sofa right now. That would not at all be terrifying.
Look at that stinger, though. It's kind of a terrifying stinger.
Change the background. No. Maybe if you hold it up to the... Oh yeah, your face or the green screen works well. See the stinger. Your teeth are so white.
Yeah, that sound like... Say the stinger between... Yes.
And is there a venom sac that's like in the middle?
So the inside the stinger is a muscle. And so they don't just poke you and venom automatically goes in. It has to insert that stinger into the skin, and then there's a muscle inside this little ball here that squeezes venom into its prey or predator, whatever's coming after it.
How long have you had Juliet?
I think I've had her for about a year now.
And is she a pet store kind of vibe?
Yeah, you can get these.
Non-native.
Yeah, non-native. I got this at Rockstar Pets. So the emperor scorpion is actually the largest scorpion in the world, and they look very similar to the Asian forest scorpion, but they get bigger. Emperor scorpions, they used to be sold quite often in pet stores, but then they just got, they were over collected, and so now it's the Asian forest scorpion, and pretty soon these will be over collected.
Is it just like a trend, a fad, or?
The problem is there's not enough people actually breeding them, and they're not that difficult to breed. But the demand for them is high, and so they just take them out of the wild.
They lay eggs.
So they actually give birth to live young.
No.
And
really?
the babies crawl on her back.
Aw.
And they'll just be sitting on her back. And when they start to sclerotrize, so the young will be all white. And then when they start to harden, then their skeleton gets darker, so the skin or whatever.
So it'll be like mushy.
Yeah, and they won't glow either when they're young. It's not until they start getting darker. But as soon as they start getting darker, the female will grab one and just eat it. They'll like pull off her back and just eat it, and that's a signal to the other ones like, "Oh, we better get the hell out of here."
No. Yeah. All scorpions do this, or just the?
Yeah.
What?
They'll eat their babies, and so.
Wait, is one day like she just wakes up and is like, "Okay, everyone off."
Pretty much, it's like you guys are getting heavy.
I'm over it.
You guys, I'm done. You guys are old enough to leave the nest.
You're 25 years old.
Pretty much.
I can't even have you on my health insurance anymore.
Yeah, get the hell out of my house.
Yeah, you've been working at Ross Dress for the last 5 years. We offered for you to go to university, and you said no. So it's time to leave the nest.
Yeah, I just ate your sister, and you're next. If you don't leave.
I remember. I remember when I had that.
Yeah.
I remember when Mom said that to me. Rip, sister. Rip. All right. So she glows in the dark.
She does. So I brought a little black light here. Let's see.
Just
where
put her in your
it?
mouth for a second while you.
Yeah, right.
Oh wait, I have to turn off these lights. Okay, it's gonna get real dark for a second. But first I have to open the app that controls my lights. Ooh.
So.
Oh wow, she looks really cool. I know my PlayStation camera is not good enough to capture this. I'm gonna take some pictures and I'll put it on Twitter because the amount of detail you can see is just
almost looks like
incredible.
on the screen looks like Predator.
Yeah.
Is it easy to turn off the chroma key? Would that help?
No, I cannot turn off the chroma key.
So, all scorpions glow underneath the UV light, and there's a chemical in their exoskeleton that's very similar to fluoride, which causes that glow. Now, as far as the reason for the glow, or purpose, arachnologists are still unsure of why they have that glow, what their purpose is. But there's a couple of theories. Some believe that since there's a lot of flowers that have UV spectrum, it attracts pollinating moths. That scorpions may actually attract moths at night with this slight fluorescent.
Kind of looks cool though with the. I know the green screen, the chroma key's messing it up, but I think it actually looks pretty cool like that. What I really like about the blacklight is that you can see your eyes.
Yeah, you see them?
Yeah. Okay, she probably doesn't like that. Yeah, she really does. She doesn't seem like she's having fun.
Yeah, she's giving an aggressive posture right now.
She sure is.
Staying her claws up. Well, she can't jump.
She can scurry. She runs pretty quick.
Do you want to see some others glow?
Sure do. Juliet is so excited to go home. Light said that's the ultimate camera shy when she's like with her claws. For a second, get the other one out.
Here are the bark scorpions. So can't see them, right? But then, boom.
Whoa! That's bananas.
Yeah, see, they don't like the UV light. It definitely moves out the way when they're. You can see the other one. See just the tail sticking out.
Oh yeah.
Wait, sorry.
That's bananas. So in Arizona, we used to go out with a black light in the desert to see them. Because we were walking around at night camping.
Yeah, and you'll see tons of them.
Yup. Which
And
you
then-
don't want to step on.
Here is the
Well, you don't want to be barefoot in the desert, right?
desert hairy scorpion.
That's so interesting that all scorpions glow. Because do any spiders glow?
Nope.
Just
But there are
scorpions.
some species of millipedes that glow. There's some beetle larvae that glow.
Ew. Do crabs glow?
None that I know of. But even the dead ones glow. So here's a dead scorpion. That's in alcohol. And see, those will glow even when they're dead.
Wow. That's hard to pick up. The glass kind of.
Yeah.
Which is a
You'll just have to
bummer.
take my word for it. They're glowing.
Ooh, Beavis is upset. Beavis is crawling around in his Tupperware. Oh, little angry pup. Oh, well, we have the lights on and it's still out. Do you want to see if we can see the brown recluse? Is that an alcohol or formaldehyde?
It's an alcohol, so it's just 100% ethanol. But yeah, this is a brown recluse spider. So it's kind of hard to see, but you know, it just looks like any normal brown spider.
Okay, it's not great, but you can at least see something. Yeah, is that abnormally small for the...
No, it's about regular size.
Really?
Yeah. They don't get much bigger than that.
Of course, you know, in my memory when I saw the brown recluse, it was this big.
Yeah, people usually see wolf spiders and call them brown recluse spiders.
Okay, well, that was a lot of critters in a very short amount of time. Oh wait, I need to move. I need to find the controller. Okay, so, I'm tired. The critters must be tired. I'm sure you're tired. Thank you so much for bringing all your pets. How many pets? How many invertebrate pets do you have? Actually,
I don't know. I haven't really inventoried. I got quite a bit. Just whenever I see cool stuff, catch them and.
so do you have to have a license to do that?
No.
But like, it's probably not a good idea to go around scorpion hunting, right?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing it and just killing them. I mean,
Oh no, that'd be fun.
but a lot of people will go out and go scorpion collecting and kill them and sell them as ornaments. I'm not a fan of that, but if you wanted to catch a couple, maybe one or two scorpions and put them in a terrarium and watch them, feed them crickets, they're pretty cool to watch. And they're, pretty low maintenance.
Wait, did you have a spider here?
I do have tarantulas. Did you want to see tarantula?
What kind of tarantula?
I think it's a zebra white-knee tarantula.
Aw, that sounds cute.
It's a tropical species.
Okay, we'll close out on the tarantula, because now
All right.
for some reason I was like,
I
I
will get
kind of
the
want to see a tarantula. Okay. Tarantulas are pretty friendly, right?
Sometimes.
Don't they have like butt spikes that they'll throw at you?
Yeah.
They're aggro.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you handle tarantulas pretty often, then they won't flick the hairs because they'll get used to you.
No.
But
Go.
if they're handled quite often, then they kind of lose their aggressiveness, and so they don't eat as much either. So you really kind of, if you want to have a good tarantula pet, it's kind of a balance. You want to handle it just enough to where it gets used to you, but not handle it too much to where it loses its appetite.
Wow, she's pretty.
She's big, but I haven't held her in probably 4, maybe 5 months.
Yeah, let's not stress her out.
So I'm not quite sure how aggressive she'll be.
Let's do whatever's best for her.
Well, let's see if I can get her to crawl on my hand without getting her angry. And then maybe she won't flick hairs on me.
That hair is chitin also?
Yeah.
So that hair is made of chitin, in case you, maybe the audio's a bit off, which is the same as their exoskeleton.
Yeah.
So what happens if hairs get flicked at you?
So, tarantulas have a great defense. They flick these articulating hairs off their abdomen, and they're barbed, and they get into the pores of your skin and cause itching and irritation. In certain species, it can be pretty mild or really bad. So the Goliath birding tarantula, their hairs are so bad that it can cause extreme swelling.
Oof. But all tarantulas do that?
All tarantulas can flick hairs, yeah.
So what does it mean that her legs are doing that? Her front legs?
She's just trying to feel around. Okay. She's like, where's the ground?
She's not like,
yeah.
I'm aggressive.
But all spiders have webbing, and she's really great for webbing. So if I touch her abdomen here, you can see...
wow!
See
the PlayStation camera's not going to pick this up because it's not...
Yeah, well, I'm pulling webbing right out of her butt.
Really? Well, this is the content my streamers come for. It is actually impressive. It looks like little wispy hairs. They're like thinner than hair. What's her name again? Is this?
Her name is Beauty.
Beauty, yes. I think you told me about Beauty.
Yeah.
She's an old girl, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Her mother's name is Beauty.
Okay.
Her mother is 22 years old, and she's at Rockstar Pets. And this is one of her babies, and her name is Mallory.
Mallory.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Do the web one more time.
See if I can pick that up.
Her little spinnerets back there are going.
See that?
Got it.
Oh, yeah! Good job. Good job, cameraman.
So they don't use their webbing to capture insects like orb weavers or black widows. Instead, they use their webbing like little tripwires. So they spend their entire life in their burrow, and then they'll have this webbing around the outside of their burrow. And if a cricket walks by and just, touches that webbing, it's like a tripwire, and she'll run out of the burrow and catch that cricket.
Nice. What's her legs doing now? Same thing?
She's just looking for...
She's stretching?
Looking for ground. She's like, okay. They don't see too well, so imagine if you're blind, you're like, okay, what's going on here?
So, what is she? That doesn't feel like dog hair, right? Because she looks fluffy.
Yeah. So the fuzz, it does feel like probably more like velvet than fur from a rodent or a dog.
Yeah. She's really pretty.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by how pretty she is.
But tarantulas can make great pets. I had a pet tarantula. My parents gave me a tarantula when I was 10 years old, and I had her for 26 years. So
they're a time investment. They're not.
They can live a really long time. Yeah.
It's not like
if you take good care of them. Yeah. Well, the cockroaches, you'll be lucky to get them 3 years. But the great thing is if you get a male and female cockroach, well, they'll just keep having babies. You always have some.
How difficult is it to breed tarantulas?
It's not that hard, actually. So as long as you... so the female will often eat the male if you're if you're not careful. So it's better to put the female in the male's cage. So you want to have 2 separate cages. The female is the aggressor, and she's a lot stronger than the male. And so,
But if it's not her house,
if you put the male into her terrarium, that's her territory.
Yeah.
He's kind of lost. He doesn't know what's going on, and he's easy prey. But if you put the female in his territory, he's...
Hey, babe, I've got a jacuzzi.
Yeah. And she's kind of like, what's going on? And then he'll come out, ready to mate. And she's like, what's going on? Oh, okay. All right.
Buy me a drink first, she
Yeah.
says. Interesting.
Am I remembering right that the front two little ones aren't legs?
Yeah, so these are pedipalps here. So that's they're just feelers, and they also help bring food into the mouth.
So how many eyes does she have?
So she just has a small cluster. I'm thinking maybe 8. I'm not quite sure.
She's kind of covering them. She probably doesn't like the light. It's a little bright. I'm sorry, baby. And then we were talking earlier whether or not these eyes function like an array. So does she get 8 individual camera inputs, so to speak, or does she get like one widescreen? But I guess you said that she doesn't see that well. So why 8 eyes if they're not very good?
Well, they're mostly photosensitive. So the eyes do a lot for sensing light and shadows and shapes.
I'm sorry.
But she's going to do most of her sensory through feeling.
Mm-hmm. She sure is a pretty girl. So, would she, okay, so does each leg sit on part of the web to feel a disturbance in the force?
So the burrow will be, encased like this. So she'll, be about the size of a gopher hole.
Wow.
And she'll be down in that burrow, and there'll just be a series of webs around the outside of that burrow that'll come in. And then she'll just rest her front 2 legs on the web. And then when a cricket walks by, she feels that vibration, and she runs out and gets it.
Where are they from?
Well, this one is from Costa Rica.
Nice.
Yep.
That seems like she's small.
Her mother is about maybe an inch bigger than this. Yeah. So yeah, if those of you who live in Tooele, go to Rockstar Pets, you'll see her mom there, and she's one of the oldest tarantulas that I've seen.
This side of the Mississippi. Are they native to? Is there a species of tarantula native to Utah?
Yeah, so we have the Ponophelma iotis. It's a desert blonde tarantula, and they can get about the same size, but they're mostly brown with some black markings. The abdomen of the males will sometimes have an orange hue to it.
Wow. Are they that big? Would you be able to notice one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you ever actually encounter one in the wild, though?
Oh, yeah. So in mid-August is when you'll start seeing a lot of them out, and it's typically the males that you see. The females, they never venture more than about 3 feet from their burrow, but the males, they'll travel up to 5 miles in search of a mate.
Relatable content.
The male's legs are longer because they need to travel a great distance. The female's body is bigger, more robust, and they're stronger than the males, but the males are faster.
And they don't give live birth.
No, they lay an egg sac. Yeah, and then the babies. So they'll have an egg sac, which will have probably about 100 little eggs inside of it, and then they emerge from that big egg sac. Have 100 little baby tarantulas come out.
You laugh. Well, Mallory, it was nice to meet you. You're a pretty girl. The more I look at her, the more she looks like golden. Like the bands on her legs look golden.
Yeah, she's very pretty. And there's so many different species of tarantulas, and a lot of people really get into it.
Yeah.
And tarantula hobbies, people who are into it, they get so many different varieties from so many different countries.
Oh yeah.
So I have a friend who's president of the American Tarantula Society.
Nice.
And so I used to buy all kinds of really cool spiders from him.
It's an acquired taste.
That's like it's like an 8-legged gerbil. You know?
That's fair. Do you ever have ones that are big enough to eat mice?
Yes. So the Goliath bird-eating tarantula gets about the size of a basketball.
Jeez.
And they'll
what kind
eat
of
mice.
terrarium would you have for that?
Oh, just a 10-gallon terrarium.
No.
So tarantulas, well, believe it or not, invertebrates, they much prefer smaller spaces. If you were to put a small invertebrate in a 10-gallon aquarium, it's harder for it to find its food, so it has to really look for it. They like feeling like they're in a home or something. So if you do have a big terrarium, then you definitely want to have some sort of burrow or something for it to stay in. But they're not going to go very much. A 10-gallon aquarium for a tarantula like this, they'll probably only use a fourth of that aquarium.
Bananas. All right, well, I think we're all spidered out.
Say goodbye, Mallory.
Oh, that's cute. It's like she waved. Bye, Mallory. What is going on with her butt? Are those her spinnerets?
Mm-hmm. So when they're moving, she'll stick her butt on the ground as she's moving, and she's making a web trail, kind of like a breadcrumbs, right?
To find her way home?
Mm-hmm.
No. So I didn't realize, I knew they had spinnerets, but I didn't realize they look like fingers almost coming out of her butt.
Go ahead and touch. You can get webbing to come out. Touch your butt.
That's really personal.
Touch your butt.
I feel... Well, it's gone back in.
Just right there. And you kind of come up like that, like you're wiping them behind.
I don't know if I can do this stream.
Wipe her butt.
I wanted to end the stream like a minute ago, but here I am. Oh!
There you go. See, you got it.
Oh! Oh, I just wiped a spider's butt. Oh. And
Look, it keeps going.
How does she make this?
It keeps going.
Will it show up good against my top because it's black?
Oh, we saw it.
Oh,
But
can see it.
let's see it.
Wow. It's really
It's
cool
still
looking.
attached.
Oh yeah, we saw it a little bit there.
And yeah, you can see it. So this stuff is really strong too, right?
Not for tarantulas.
Oh.
So different spiders produce different kinds of silk. So orb weavers have the strongest silk. So Nephila edulis, it's an orb weaver from Australia. It's the largest orb weaver, and they have probably the strongest spiderweb silk. Scientists have been working on trying to crack the code of the proteins in spiderweb silk. If we were able to synthesize a web that, a strand of silk about the thickness of a pencil, it would be strong enough to stop a 747 Boeing airplane in flight and have the tensile strength to not damage the plane or break the web.
Dang!
And so, if we can be able to... And it's just the way the proteins are coiled in that web.
And that's just like... That's cricket fueled.
Well, and that technology is actually being done here in Utah. So USU,
Wow.
Dr. Randall Lewis,
That's
he
awesome.
is working on spiderweb silk production. And so there's a big market for it. If we can do it, and there'll be
He's so useful for
if
many
you can
things.
get commercial applications of spiderweb silk. Imagine you can have bulletproof vests that weigh like a t-shirt.
Be like Spider-Man. Like all the stuff Spider-Man has.
747s wouldn't even need brakes anymore.
That's right.
Wow. Well, thank you, Mallory, for letting me wipe your butt. Wait, did she poop?
No.
No, I didn't ask if
Well,
she did.
does she poop
Yeah.
or did she poop?
She must have poop, right?
Everything poops.
I don't. Surely not me. So what's her poop like then?
Well, they're like little tiny, turds about the big.
Oh.
very small.
How big for the camera?
Oh, I'd say maybe 2 millimeters, so like
Oh.
something like that. Really, really small, not noticeable.
Huh. Well, that's like cricket. Like she eats cricket, so that's just like a little compressed cricket.
Well, and spiders are very efficient eaters, so they're most of what they eat is going to go to their body, and there's not going to be very much waste.
Beavis sure is active.
Well, it's nighttime. They know that. See, the bark scorpions are moving around too.
What do they do at night?
That's when they forage looking for food.
Oh, so you better go home and feed them.
Yep.
What about her? She's not nocturnal?
She is.
No. Is it because we have blaring light in her eyes?
Yeah, so it's kind of like
Okay.
she's not...
Alright, let's put Valerie away so she can rest and not have blaring light in her eyes anymore. Poor thing.
Okay, Valerie.
She was a good sport.
Let's see. I'm going to get you... Go this way.
She's like, don't tell me what to do. I thought this was America.
I just don't want her to flick hairs on me, so I'm trying to...
Yeah.
See that leg right there? See that?
Uh-oh.
She's getting ready to flick. Don't flick. Nope, there's... Oh, dang it. I gotta go wash my hands. So there's her defense. She just wiped, see, and there's all those hairs, articulating hairs on her butt. God, dang spider. Get off me now. You little asshole. Dang it.
I feel like we earned that, though. I feel like you
Yeah.
took the punishment, but...
Okay, well, I want to go wash my hands before these hairs get all over my body. Can you snap
Yes.
that?
Alright, stream. We ended... What a great finale. And then Isabel goes after him like he's gonna steal stuff from the house. Okay. So, thank you for joining us for the hashtag science stream with Robert Delph, who is not on Twitter, I don't think. I'll wait till he gets back, see if he wants to plug anything. While he's washing those hairs off, and Isabel's barking at him. I'm taking hiatus for a couple weeks because I've got some belly dance stuff to do. But I will be back in mid-July with a whole brand new flavor stream. Do you want to lick the tarantula hairs? I think that's good for them. So how hard are they to wash off your hands? They come right off?
Easy. So then that's if you ever have pet tarantulas, the best way to remove the hairs is to just let the water run. You don't ever rub your hands together because you're going to work those hairs into your skin. And so that's why I was like, when she did it, I quickly went and washed it off because then I'll just wash
What happens
the hairs
if you
off.
do get them on your skin? How do you get them out?
You just can't. You just endure it and then you're itchy for about a week. It
Ugh.
sucks.
So that's the worst that happens.
Yeah, it's the
You don't,
worst.
like,
Yeah.
die.
Well, I mean, the worst, you'd be like you touch your face. I've done that before, messing with tarantulas, and then I itch my chin or whatever, and I'm like, oh, and I rubbed it all over my face.
So what happens?
And then I get a rash, get bumps,
Oh.
looks like acne.
I mean, compared to the bark scorpions, I feel like that's pretty...
I'd rather get stung by a scorpion, because at least that's quick. Having those hairs and that just annoying itch.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna ask you if you want to plug anything. Do you have like social media that you want to plug, or do you have like any upcoming speaking engagements or anything cool? Research papers?
I'm not really that hip.
Research papers?
No.
That's hip?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't blog or anything.
I thought you had a cool paper about rattlesnakes.
No.
All right, tight. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, so that's that then. Thank you so much for being on the stream,
Yes.
and I'll see you all in mid-July.
Ruby.